Hi, so this is just going to be a short rant, so if you don't like rants, don't watch. But my computer currently has dual boot into Windows 10 and Ubuntu, but I use Windows 10 mostly. And as you know, a lot of my videos are image sequences from processing, which means in processing, I write some code. It's going to produce thousands of images, and then I stitch those images into a video using some video editing software. So I let one of my programs run overnight, and every second it would, or I guess more often than once a second, it would save an image. It's going as fast as it can. So then when I wake up this morning, it had saved 42,000 images, and I guess they're just more complicated than I had thought because the image file was large enough that I was getting warnings, you're low on disk space. Backblaze was saying, we can't back up your computer, you have low disk space, which was true. I knew I only had like 60 gigabytes of free space going into the night, and then when I woke up in the morning, I had like 100 megabytes left, so clearly it was all gone. So fortunately I have this hard drive that actually works. The last two external hard drives I had just stopped connecting, but this one actually works, has 4 terabytes. So I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna move the new files to the 4 terabyte hard drive. So I copy them over from Windows, and it's moving at about 10 megabytes per second, which I think is reasonable. That's a good speed. And then I just do other stuff on other computers, and then I come back, and it's like the speed at which it copies fluctuates so much. Like it's at 10 megabytes per second, and then it goes down to like 10 kilobytes per second, and then back up to 10 megabytes, and I don't know why. And then like for a long spell, it was stuck at around 500, 600, 700 kilobytes per second. So the estimated time left was 12 hours. And at that rate, I might as well just delete the files and recalculate them in processing, right? So I thought, why is Windows having so much trouble just copying files from the C drive to an external drive? So I looked up forums online on what could be causing this file transfer to be so slow. And some of these forums say that this feature called, what is it, remote something, remote. Well, okay, first of all, it's called RCD, or I'll figure it out later after I close this. But I had this window open here. They said you need to turn off RCD remote. So it's like turn Windows features on or off. So I clicked that, or I unchecked the checkbox. I clicked OK. And then this window over here popped up, and it was a scroll bar that said like looking for required files to turn it off. So I guess it needs to read a file to turn it off. So I'm like, okay. But then it was stuck on that for like 10 minutes, just like this scroll bar, like going back and forth, like searching for files. Like, what is it doing in that time? If it's connected to the internet, I'm connected right now, and normal web pages load in a second. And if it's on the computer itself, why is it taking 10 minutes? So then, just seconds before I started recording this video, it put away that progress bar, and instead says Windows couldn't complete the requested changes. Okay, so now what am I supposed to do? Just deal with an extremely slow copy rate? So I'm going to close this. An error has occurred. Not all features were successfully changed. You mean none of them were, because I only wanted one of them changed. So I'll just try it again, I guess. And I wanted to tell you what that feature was that I'm trying to disable. But I couldn't do that while that little message box was open, because it kind of forces you to have mouse control of that window and not the window that I need to read it. Okay, it's not RCD, it's RDC, and it stands for Remote Differential Compression API Support. So people recommended turning that off because in their experience, after they did that, they had a reliable, like the person who recommended this said they got 11 megabytes per second consistently after turning this off. So I'm going to click OK. See here, now it opens this again, and it says searching for required files. Oh, okay, this time it says applying changes. It never got there last time. So, I mean, I'd hope that this works this time, but if it works this time, then why did it not work the first time, and why did it get endlessly stuck? I'm just really disappointed because things like this never happen when I'm in the other dual boot. When I'm logged into Ubuntu, things copy a lot faster. And like, if I want to open up File Explorer in Ubuntu, I can double click on the folder icon and it will show up in half a second of me double clicking. Whereas on Windows, if I, wait for like the desktop to load, which takes a while after logging in, and then I double click, I usually think, oh, it's just doing setup and like maybe some files need to be loaded and things can be transferred around or logged. So I have to wait about like a minute, and during that time, I'll just go do other stuff. But the fact that Ubuntu, well, I don't know. I know like Windows has to deal with like all these security issues and stuff that like Ubuntu doesn't really care about. But I just think that like I don't know what's going on. Maybe the way that I've been treating my computer has not been right, or maybe like I need a defragment or something. But it has gotten unbearably slow. Oh, okay. The applying changes progress bar just finished. So now they say you have to restart your computer to have the changes actually take effect. So I'll do that, and I'll start copying that last quarter of the image files that I wanted to render for a video, and then hopefully it will copy at a decent speed. Yeah, because if it doesn't, like copying files should be the most basic thing that an operating system can do. Okay, gonna restart the computer. Rant's over. Bye.